In our tutorial last month, we covered 7 steps to take you to an intermediate surfer. One of the hallmarks of an intermediate surfer and a foundational move for all surfing in general, we could say, is the cutback. And today I want to share with you the roadmap to achieving your first one, or if you're trying them already, perfecting them every time. This video is brought to you by thesurfersroadmap.com, my online surfing university designed to progress your surfing faster than ever, just like these guys. To go even deeper into forehand cutbacks than we can today, and to learn how to do a cutback on your backhand, you can join over 10,000 students via the link in the description below. Step number 1, perfect your bottom turn. The cutback, as with all maneuvers, starts in the bottom turn, so we need to get that right first. A bottom turn involves 3 movements: the compression, the rotation, and then the extension. The compression actually starts in the power zone of the wave, up here. Our goal is to gradually compress ourselves into a strong and loaded position here at the bottom of the wave. As this is happening, we are also going through a gradual rotation where the eyes, head, and shoulders, and subsequently the rest of the body, are gradually rotating to point and look up to the top of the wave again, our maneuver section. We should arrive at the bottom of the wave with a clear vantage point of the lip that we are going to approach for our cutback. Lastly, in order to defy gravity and move back up the wave face from here, we're going to perform a big extension out of the lower body. We're going to think about performing a jumping style movement from the bottom of the wave to the top. Now, simultaneously, our back arm here is going to pull into the neutral position, which is where the arm is behind you, in order to best prepare for the rotation within the maneuver itself. So if we rewind here to observe that process again, we are compressing, rotating, and then extending back up the wave face. You can visualize this process by thinking about a smile shape. It starts at the top of the wave here, dips down the bottom, and then comes back up again. Compression starts here and then finishes here at the midway point. Extension starts at the midway point and finishes back up the top of the wave before the maneuver. And rotation simply involves tracing this smile with the leading arm to dictate your direction. Feeling overwhelmed? Well, that's only the first part of achieving our cutback. Step number 2, we're going to focus on the rotation now. From our neutral position here, we are going to focus on the upper body. We're going to throw our trailing arm from behind us up and over the lip of the wave so that the shoulder meets the ear on the same side. This will encourage a rotation sequence through the upper body, which will ripple into the lower body and create the turn. This needs to be assisted by an opening of the front of the upper body as well. So as you throw the back arm, the head and leading arm should then begin to rotate back toward the whitewater as well. A common mistake here is to over-rotate too quickly, which often results in a disconnected turn. Remember that we need to rotate smoothly. Think about it as if there's a clock, and we need to pass through each hour as we rotate, which leads to more connected torsion and a better looking cutback as well. There are different angles at which we should throw our trailing arm, and these depend on the section that we are approaching and doing our cutback on. For a more vertical style cutback, or top turn, we will have to throw the trailing arm higher into the air in order to change our direction and weight distribution more rapidly. We can afford this drastic rail-to-rail transition because we have a lip to push against with the underside of the board. This keeps us upright and stable during the turn. For horizontal cutbacks, though, on fatter sections, we'll need to check our enthusiasm a little bit and keep our trailing arm a little lower during the throw. This creates a slower and less aggressive transition onto the opposite rail and avoids the tendency to bog with too much aggression. Step number 3 is going to be to link all of our cutbacks or our maneuvers together now. And that's going to involve one final little movement at the end of your turn. Initially, it's our back arm that creates torsion for the cutback to occur. But at about the halfway mark of our cutback, our leading arm should actually take over and begin to drive the torsion. Put more tangibly, if the turn requires you to arc back across the midway point of our smile, then the leading arm should begin pulling upwards from that point back towards the whitewater. Now, this draws out the turn, creating a longer and more visually interesting arc, but it also has an interesting effect on the back leg. By pulling upwards with this side of the body, it actually forces that back leg to extend out and into the surfboard. This back leg extension maximizes spray and exit speed out of the turn, which is what we need to achieve flow. Additionally, the leading arm can then go through a rebound style movement, assisting the transition back onto the toe side rail after the completion of the maneuver, which again sets us up for our next cutback. You can see here, for example, that once you gain a kinesthetic memory of this movement, you can perform it over and over again, almost as if it's one continual turn. That process in summary. Step 1, perfect the 3 stages of your bottom turn. Step 2, learn the optimal rotation within the maneuver. Step 3, link everything together with the back leg extension. If you enjoyed this video and want to go even more in depth into cutbacks, including learning some really helpful surf skate routines to perfect your technique and a detailed guide for the back end as well, check out the intermediate roadmap on thesurfersroadmap.com. You can join over 10,000 students who are already smashing their surfing goals there. I'll see you next time.